Hey, what's up guys? My name is FreshTango, and I'm back for another video after another 3 months. So yeah, sorry, I've been, again, this is probably like the third video of saying this, but yeah, I've been pretty busy with school, and if not that, then I've just been pretty lazy overall. But anyway, I'm back on to Dragon Nest. Well, actually, I've been playing this game pretty much on a weekly basis to run the Sea Dragon Nest. Probably a video that I'll post up soon. But yeah, I think instead of constantly updating you guys on this game, whenever a new like substantial content update releases, then I'll probably just show you guys the overview of what happens, or like if new dungeons come out, then I'll walk you guys through it and such. But other than that, this game hasn't changed too much, which is why I've kind of not posted too many videos. But anyway, from my last video, which was my, I believe, Ancient Archive video, I'll finish up those dungeon runs later. But for now, I would just like to show you guys my new character, as well as an analysis of the Gearmaster build, and kind of how you should approach using Gearmaster, what kind of gear you need to use, combos and such. And yeah, I think this is my third video. My first video was level 40, and then level 40 with the T4 update, and now it'll be level 50. Alright, so let's get started here. Let's first start off with the gear that you need to use. Alright, so this is my guy, pretty standard stuff. Plus 6s, plus 7s, plus 8s. I have full totem set. So in order to excel in this game, or have good armor in this game, it's best if you go and get the nest armors, which are, in this case, the corrupted armor, which you can get from running Titan nests and getting crafting mats, or you can go with the ancient totem set, which is from Archbishop Nest. So the corrupted set, I'm using, let's see, I believe I'm using a 4 totem and 3 corrupted combo. This is for maximum final damage. As you can see, the 3 set bonus is 300, as well as an extra 140. It's pretty good if you want to have pretty much a low budget armor set. If not, then I would suggest going 5 corrupted and 2 Victor Victor weapons you can get from doing PvP ladder. Probably about 2 weeks worth of it, and you should be able to get a weapon at least. That'll give you some extra final damage on top of the one that I have. But anyway, in terms of the armor that you should get, in terms of the craft, I would recommend getting Windswept for everything. Windswept allows you to increase your damage while also getting max crit. You can see right here my crit is at 87%. That's 2 away from the maximum crit percentage, which is 89. And for your weapons, I would suggest going Wind as well, and Iron Wall or Sturdy. This is because, if you can see the equipability, there's a 30% chance to reduce the hit target's physical defense by 30% for 10 seconds. That is pretty good when you're nesting or doing Dragon Nest, raid bosses and such. It's really good to just get that extra damage on, because 30% extra damage is quite substantial. So anyway, that's what I prefer. For the gloves, you can either go life-giving or will, depending on what you want. If you want to maybe like survive longer, go life-giving. If you want a variety, more stats, then I would suggest going will. They're both pretty good though, but they don't make a substantial difference whatever you choose. Alright, and most importantly, let's now move on to the talent tree, or the skill tree. Alright, so the skill build that I'm going to be using with this update is a pure PvE build. As a Gearmaster now, they nerfed the cannons and turrets of the Quackers. You can see that it's now 10% of your max HP. as well as your Quackums, it's only 70%, I mean no, 5% of your max HP when you summon them. So through my experience so far with ladder, Gear Masters are pretty much the worst PvP class ever. So if you're even trying to go PvP as a Tinkerer, or an Engineer for that matter, I would suggest going Shooting Star. Alright, so anyways, let's start off with the Tinkerer. Quick Shot, Alley-Oop, Wrench Womp, Anti-Agonizer. Always keep those at level 1. They don't do any damage whatsoever. The cooldowns are decent for them, but again, check out that damage. 41% plus 1. Yeah, you're gonna be doing like 100 damage maybe. It's not a substantial increase either when you rank it up. Napalm, you can either choose Starburst or Napalm, whichever one best suits you. For me, I guess if you like having fun in PvP, I would suggest leveling up Starburst, but other than that, I would go with Napalm. For it does have a pretty substantial damage increase actually when you rank that up, so you can either choose those two. Slip and Slide, make sure to get that to level 5 because it's very beneficial when you're running with groups. It's really good for escaping moves, black hole moves and such, and just making you move faster is really good for your mobility. Of course, rank 5 Roto Whirl. Rank 1 Rise and Shine, so in case you get stunned or just pounded to the ground, you can get back up real quick. Alfredo Drop, max level. Those things should be given. All of these are max level because they increase your stats. And Aerial Evasion should be at max level again for lowering the cooldown of your dodge and increasing your mobility. Okay, so this move, Bubble Trouble. Again, this is actually a PvP skill. It's pretty good. Although you're Gear Master and you use physical damage, this doesn't do much damage at all because it utilizes magic damage. But it's good again for if you just like to have fun in PvP. You know, Gear Masters, if you know how to play them, I guess you can play PvP with them, but I just wouldn't recommend it. But I just chose Bubble Trouble because I didn't really feel like leveling up these moves. They don't really do too much damage. The ones that do the most damage are in your Engineer tree, which is where we're going to move to next. Super Ball, your #1 DPS move, or maybe #2 actually for the Gear Master. It has a 12-second cooldown, very low. Physical damage, check that out, 470% plus 4,652. And you get extra 12% damage with every bounce that is not used. So for example, if you had just one gigantic boss and there are no other enemies around, then this would do an extra like, yeah, almost like 100% damage just from that. So it's pretty beneficial. Make sure to max that up. Definitely one of your highest DPS skills. Rocket Crash, good for mobility, but not good for anything else, so get that to level 1. Quackum Crash, just get that to level 6, because you need that to get Quackum Crash EX on the Gear Master. Quack Shock. This is actually really good, however, you may not notice the damage that is done. Your Quackums will passively activate this skill. It has a cooldown of 8 seconds, and from level 5 to level 6, it has a substantial increase of damage. So I would suggest getting this one. The more Quackums you have, obviously, it'll do a lot more damage. In PvP, it's really good for stunning people as well. Quack Patrol, good for silencing enemies, but it's not really a needed thing here. We're going for a DPS-oriented class, so this is probably better for PvP, but again, Gear Master's not good in PvP. Kami Quackum, make sure you max that up. Again, look at that damage. And the cooldown is really low. The more Quackums you have, it will exponentially increase in damage, so make sure you get that one. It's also good for lowering the enemy's damage, which is helpful for groups. Gravity Grenade, get that to level 1. It's good for gathering enemies when you're soloing dungeons. Alfredo Smash. Now this move, is, this is actually a really good move, one that I haven't chosen. If you want to, you can rank this up pretty high, and it has a really substantial increase of damage. But if you don't rely on Alfredo and you don't really trust him, because of course he's a computer, so he won't always do what you want him to. And again, this is, yeah. So if you don't rely on Alfredo, then I probably wouldn't suggest this. But other than that, it does do some decent damage. However, for me, I decided not to use it. That also applies with Alfredo Tornado. If you remember from my last video, I did have this at level 4. But the thing of it was that whenever I pushed this button, Alfredo Tank, which absorbs 50% damage, his tornado would always interrupt this spell from getting cast. So I decided not to go with that. Piping Hot Alfredo, pretty good, but just keep that level 1. It just makes him stronger. Back to Alfredo Tank, this is really good for parties. Very good. I suggest maxing this up, because this will allow you to maximize your support abilities. Chemical Warfare, again, you can probably interchangeably put points in here. For me, I just chose Max Chemical Warfare just for the increase of damage, but again, it's not a substantial increase, so if you want, you can put points in Alfredo Smash if you want. Make It Rain, get that to max level. In the previous update, it wasn't good, but now they increase the damage substantially, so 32% plus 2,151, multiply that by 20 explosive shells, and yeah, that's some pretty good damage, especially on bosses. And then lastly, get your ultimate. This ultimate is useless, do not get it. Enough said. Alright, and then lastly, just get Max Chainsaw Quack'em and Gigaton Quack level 1. That's the maximum you can get for any of them. Gigaton Quack is pretty much just like the Elementalist's Fireball. It does an insane amount of damage. And Chainsaw Quack'em is, I believe, one of the highest DPS moves in the game. Rather, one of the highest DPS moves for the Gearmaster. So yeah, that's pretty much my my build so far. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me, comment down below. But other than that, I think that's pretty much all I have to say. If you want me to elaborate or anything, then again, just ask or message me. Of course, you can whisper me on Death Engine. I've gotten a lot of whispers from people who still remember me, so that's pretty good to hear. But anyways, yep, thanks for watching, guys. Feel free to like this video, subscribe, and whatnot. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys later.